delicate, involved games, with floating seabirds' feathers blown high into the air, and logs of wood flipped from the tops of their heads, carried in their teeth for a game of tag, ranging across the entire Pacific. Play without goals. Naked, with skin like oiled silk, smooth as glass, they move at 50 miles an hour, attaining faultless streamlining by subtly changing the shape of their bodies, altering ridges of cartilage and indentations of flesh to correspond to constantly differing patterns of water, to accommodate minute oscillations with vibrant inflections of muscle and skin, so that layers of liquid glide over each other in an easy laminar flow. No drag, no turbulence, a velvet energy. Like Buddhists, they are not compulsive eaters. They can go for 8 months without food. And they do not work to eat. They play to eat. The humpback catches its food by blowing bubbles. 5-foot wide bubbles, as large as weather balloons. When they burst, they make a circle of confusing mist. The plankton, the Arctic shrimps, the krill, the sea butterflies are corralled into the middle by a bewildering ring of hissing bubble bombs. The whale then rises up into the center of a round plate of brimming water and eats. Imagine blowing soap bubbles, and food drops out of the sky. After dinner, music. Ethereal music that carries for miles. A siren song, leading sailors to believe, as the sounds infiltrated through the wooden hull, that their vessels were haunted by spirits of the deep. Webs of elegant cetacean music stretch around the globe. Lyrical litanies on the bioradio that draw on an oral tradition of submarine songs from a living memory bank founded 50 million years ago. Different dialects, different themes, different clusters of notes, sequences, phrases, subphrases, sung with different cadences and modulations to send different messages to different individuals. Different songs from day to day, from year to year, an indication that there are creatures other than man still evolving. Millions of mysterious sounds memorized and passed on from generation to generation, all clearly retained in the mind, uncluttered by cuneiform tablets, vellum, paper, newsprint, floppy disks, free of all methods of transcription which, disconnected from the body language of the informant, facilitate deceit. Alien beings, their whole body, every bone, every membrane, every hollow, part of an enormous ear, 20 times as sensitive as man's. Whale families, whale tribes, all have different songs, an acoustic picture language. Spirited pulses relayed through water at 5 times the speed sound travels through air, varied enough to express complex emotions. cultural details, history, news, a sense of the unknown. A lone humpback may put on a solo concert lasting for days. Within a humpback's half-hour song, there are 100 million bytes, 1 million changes of frequency, and 1 million tonal twists. An Odyssey, as information-packed as Homer's, can be told in 30 minutes. 50-million-year-old sagas of continuous whale mind. Accounts of the forces of nature. The minutiae of a shared consciousness. Whale dreams. The accumulated knowledge of the past. Rumors of ancestors. The Archaeoceti, with lifespans of 200 and 300 years. Memories of loss. Memories of ideal love. Memories of meetings. For the rorqual whales, into whose mouths 14 people could be placed with headroom, hold meetings. In certain places, set aside, near the breeding lagoons. Evenly spaced, in a watery stadium, they stand vertically like megaliths, a third of their bodies above the surface, rhythmically threshing the water beneath them, breathing in unison. Cliffs of flesh, their heads quite still, talking in ultrasound, followed by long, superhuman silences, as if in a collective reverie, their brains offline, updating their programs, their brains 6 times the size of man's, with a large area of silent parietal and frontal lobe, like man's, for assessing the past and forecasting the future. Their antique, crusty heads are festooned with regal tassels of vegetation. Thick, dangling fronds and swatches of sargasso seaweed hang off their stalked acorn barnacles. They stand eerily, like benign, long-suffering ghouls, animated standing stones, exchanging information with high resolution, detecting sounds a microsecond long. Unearthly creatures, inhabiting a medium 800 times denser than air. The whale moves in a sea of sound. Shrimps snap, plankton seethes, fish croak, gulp, drum their air bladders, and are scrutinized by echolocation, a light massage of sound touching the skin. The small, toothed whales use high frequencies, finely tuned and focused sound beams, intense salvos of bouncing clicks, 1,000 a second, with which a hair as thin as 0.5 millimeter can be detected. Penetrating probes, with which they can scan the contents of a colleague's stomach, follow the flow of their blood, take the full measure of an approaching brain. From 2 cerebral cavities in their melon-shaped heads, they can transmit 2 sonic probes